See one small example, simple example of design of piston head. Here we have a problem where it is been asked to design a cast iron piston for a single acting 4-stroke diesel engine having the following data: cylinder bore 100 millimeter, that means diameter of the cylinder is 100 millimeter, then stroke length is 125 millimeter. That means while the piston travels from TDC to BDC, it covers a length of 125 millimeter. That means your cylinder bore is around 10 centimeter width and length is 12.5 centimeter roughly. Then we have maximum gas pressure 5 Newton per millimeter square. So this pressure we can expect. Indicated mean is much less, 0.75 Newton per millimeter square. Indicated mean effective pressure is your average pressure during power stroke and other strokes. Then we have mechanical efficiency is 80%. That means while converting from indicated power to brake power, 80% of heat is or 80% of the power is retained. 20% is wasted because of friction and other losses. Fuel consumption, this is a little bit tricky, 0.15 kg per bhp per hour. Why it is tricky? Because sometimes data is given in liter per bhp per hour. So in that case, we have to find out the density of the fuel and then convert it accordingly in kg or vice versa. So then diesel will have different density. So this part you have to be very careful. Fuel consumption and higher calorific value of fuel. Calorific value of fuel, it means higher calorific value of fuel means the gross calorific value of fuel without any loss. And there is one more lower calorific value of fuel, also known as net calorific value, that is after consideration some loss, whatever calorific value we obtain, that is net calorific value. But here in question it is given higher calorific value. All right, again this is, we have to take care the units. 42 into 1000 kilojoule per kg. Sometimes this data is given in kilojoule per volume per liter. In that case your value will change. Alright, so this thing you have to take care. Then engine speed 2000 rpm, then allowable radial pressure on cylinder wall is 0.035 Newton per millimeter square. And then other data we have to assume. So with this much information, we are asked to design a cast iron piston. So again, we have to see here, this is cast iron piston, this is not aluminum piston. So whatever data we assume, we should assume considering cast iron piston. We cannot assume data for aluminum piston. Alright. So first, we have to design the piston head. So we have seen there are two approaches. So here you can see this is what we have seen earlier on the left hand side. These are the two aspects on which we can design the piston head. One is based on straining action and the other one is based on the heat dissipation capacity. So on the basis of straining action, what we have seen, we are using Grasshopp's formula, which is given by this 3 into P d square by 16 sigma T under square root. So using that formula, we have 3 into P. What is P? Maximum gas pressure. Here you can see P is maximum gas pressure in Newton per millimeter square. So in our question, it is 5 Newton per millimeter square. D is diameter of bore in millimeter. We have 100 millimeter, 100 square by sigma C by 16 sigma T. What is sigma T? permissible tensile stress for piston material in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. Now, for cast iron, 35 to 40. Here, this portion you can see. So, considering this, we have taken 38 megapascal, or it is equal to 38 Newton per millimeter square. So, with this assumption, we have found out thickness of the piston head comes out to be around 15.7 millimeter, or roughly you can assume as 16 millimeter. We should always take the higher value for safety purpose. Now again we have on the basis of heat dissipation. On the basis of heat dissipation, we have this formula. You see here, thickness of piston head is equal to H by 12.56 K into difference in temperature between the center and edges of the piston. Now what is H? What is K? H is heat flow through the piston. K is thermal conductivity. It's equal to 46.6 for Ci and 130 for aluminum. Tc and Te are temperature. Now we have to find out first H. What is H? H is C into C is constant. You see here C is constant. HCB higher calorific value into mass into BP kilowatt in kilowatt. All right. So H is constant is taken 0.05 HCV higher calorific value in kilojoule per kg. So in question we have in kilojoule per kg. So therefore we can directly put the just put the value 42 into 10 to the power 3 into 41.7 mass. Now what is mass? How much mass of fuel is being consumed? So if we see amount of fuel consumed is 0.15 kg per bhp per hour, and mass is mass of fuel per brake power, all right, per second in kg. So this is in 1 hour it is consuming 0.15 kg. So in 1 second how much it will consume? This will be divided by 60 into 60. So on dividing it by 60 into 60 we get this value 41.7 into 10 raised to power minus 6 per second. It consumes very less in compared to per hour into 9.8 BP. Now in question we have mechanical efficiency is given this much. Okay, indicated mean pressure is given this much. Now from where do we find this BP? So if you go back to previous slide, in order to calculate BP we need to have IP. We already have mechanical efficiency is 80%. So BP is mechanical efficiency into IP. Now what is IP? Indicated power. The formula for indicated power is plan by 60, where PM is mean pressure. We already have mean pressure is 0.75 here. Therefore we can directly put this stroke length 125 millimeter equal to 0.125 meter into A. Area is 7855 millimeter square. This is A, the cross section area of the bore, into 1000 into 1000 by 60. Why we are multiplying by 1000? N, we have 2000 stroke. The engine the engine RPM is 2000. So since it is a 4-stroke engine, we have to divide by 2. So we get 1000. All right. So plan by 60. So finally we get 12.27 kilowatt. So this is our indicated power. But since we have mechanical efficiency is only 80%, so only 80% of this much is available for use. That is 9.8 kilowatt, 80% of this much. Alright, so this is how we are getting 9.8. So when we solve this, we get this much kilowatt or 860 watt. Therefore, thickness of piston head using heat dissipation criteria, we have H by this much. We have H 860 divided by 12.56 into 46.6. This is 46.6 for CI. K. TC minus TE 220. Difference in the temperature. This is also given, or you can assume this. In the question, it is not given. Okay. So this data has to be assumed. This 220. If you see, okay, yeah. TC minus T may be taken as 220 degree for cast iron and 75 degrees Celsius for aluminum. Some example also we have seen earlier in this regard. So comparing both the values, thickness of piston head, we get in one case we get 16 millimeter, in other case we get 6.7 millimeter. So definitely 16 millimeter should be taken. So it is higher value. So the thickness or the piston head should not fail in any case. So therefore we are taking 16 millimeter. Now there is one more condition. You see, for engine having stroke to bore ratio up to 1.5, a cup is provided in the top of the piston head with dia equal to 0.70. Earlier I have given this radius, it should be dia. I made some correction. I've also changed your PPT in Microsoft Teams. So here our bore is 1.25, length is, ratio is 1.25, which is less than 1.5. Up to 1.5 a cup is provided. So it is below 1.5, therefore a cup is provided. So what is the dimension of the cup? You see, this is your cup, this type. To increase the combustion chamber, 0.7 by into D, 0.7 times of diameter, bore dia, 70 millimeter. So a cup will be provided having a diameter of 70 millimeter. So this is the first portion of your solution. Now next we will design the various rings. Then, assuming there are total of 4 rings, this is also an assumption. Out of those 4 rings, 3 are compression rings. In order to prevent the leakage of gas, in order to prevent or in order to provide sealing effect, we have compression rings and 1 oil ring for lubrication purpose. You see here in the top, this is your compression ring. On the bottom we have oil ring. See, the oil rings have some slots or openings through which oil can be circulated. So by for physical identification, you can check out for these holes in oil ring, whereas in compression ring there are no such holes. Alright. So according to what we have discussed, we know that radial thickness of piston ring T1 is given by D into square root 3 times PW. PW is allowable stress on the piston wall by sigma T. Now, in the question we will see allowable radial pressure on cylinder wall is 0.035 Newton per millimeter square. So this is your PW. 3 times of 0.035 divided by sigma T. Sigma T is considered this 90 for the cast iron rings. This also we have seen piston rings. Allowable bending stress lies from 85 to 110. So considering 90, somewhere in between, we are taking sigma t as 90. So with this equation, we have found 3.4 millimeter. Please don't get confused. This is your radial thickness. From the top, whatever thickness you can see, that is your radial thickness. And from the side, whatever you can see here, it is indicated by width. This is your axial thickness. Therefore, axial thickness T2, which is given by 0.1 to T1, between so 0.7 times of T1 is 0.7 into 3.4 to T1 to 3.4. T1 is 3.4, 2.38 to 3.4 millimeter. So that means your axial thickness would be slightly less than or equal to your radial thickness. It should fall in this range. Your radial thickness is 3.4 millimeter. So axial thickness should be equal to radial thickness or slightly less by 0.7 times. So between 2.38 and 3.4, we can consider 3 millimeter. So let us take 3 millimeter. Your T2 is 3 millimeter. T2 is your axial thickness, and T1 is radial thickness. Now, there is one more condition for T2. We know that minimum axial thickness of the piston ring is also based on this particular equation. T2 equal to D by 10 NR. NR is number of rings. D is 100 millimeter bore diameter. 10 into 4. 4 is number of rings. 3 plus 1 ring, 4 ring. So we have total 2. After calculation, we have 2.5 millimeter. So this would be the minimum axial thickness, but we have calculated it as 2.38 to 3.4. If we take 2.38, it will not satisfy this equation, this condition, sorry. So for that, we cannot take 2.38. We should take at least minimum 2.5, but we have chosen 3 millimeter, so that is safe enough. So our assumption, our calculation is all right. Therefore, the calculated axial thickness T2 of the piston is satisfactory because it is more than 2.5 millimeter, and hence it is accepted. All right. Now we'll see further. You see in this figure, you can see oil ring. They have some slots. It's not it. And compression ring, they do not have slot. They are solid. These are hollow in some portions. Now the next portion is top lane. Top lane is what? Distance between the head of the piston to the first groove where a ring is placed. So in the second picture, you can see this is your top lane. From the piston head till your compression slot of your compression ring, the first compression ring, that is your top lane. Now top lane is indicated by B1 is equal to, what should be the top lane? It should lie in the range between thickness of the piston head to 1.2 times of thickness of the piston head. So under this condition, we have thickness of piston head, we had two values, 16 millimeter and 6.7 millimeter. So we have taken 16 millimeter being a larger one on the basis of straining action, it is on the basis of strength. This is 16 millimeter to 1.2 times of 16 millimeter. It comes to be 16 millimeter to 19.2 millimeter. Within this range, we have to select. Within this particular range, we need to pick our dimension. So within 16 to 19, we have taken 18 millimeter, somewhere in between. Now width of other ring lengths. Other ring length means between these two ring slots, what should be this thickness, the distance, this vertical distance. B2 is given as 0.7 times of B of T2 or T2. So T2 we have seen, what is T2? T2 equal to 3 millimeter. So 0.75 times of T2 is 2.25 to T2, 3 millimeter. So between this, we consider 2.5 millimeter. So distance of other ring lengths is given by 2.5 millimeter. So that means this top length has got a maximum value 18 millimeter and other ring length small values. Because here combustion takes place on the top. So there will be lots of heat in the top portion. So in order to keep the compression ring safe, more distance is provided between this top lane and this first slot of compression ring and your piston head, the top of the piston head. This portion we have not discussed in theory in the previous class. I missed out this. So anyway, it's very simple portion, very simple. And the last design consideration, what should be the distance, the gap at the ends of the compression ring? Here, this distance. So based on this numerical, you can also understand very easily. You know thermal expansion and contraction. During heating, expansion takes place. And during cooling, contraction takes place. So when it is hot here on the right hand side, on the top figure, you can see the gap is small. Expansion has taken place. And on the other hand, when it is cold, there is wider gap, means indicating contraction. Alright, so what should be the gap? Gap is given by G1 is equal to 3.5 to 4 times of T1. So what we have made assumption for T1, 3.4 millimeter radial thickness. So based on this radial thickness, 3.5 to 4 times of T1 is 11.9 to 13.6 millimeter. So in between somewhere we can take G1 as 12.8 millimeter. So this should be the gap between the free ends of the ring when the ring is placed outside, means we have not yet inserted the ring inside the cylinder. Now, and the gaps between the free ends of the ring when the ring is placed in the cylinder, G2, is given by 0.002D to 0.004D. That means it is a function of bore diameter. It comes out to 0.2 to 0.4. So in between you can take 0.3 millimeter. So once you place inside this, it will have a small gap between them, 0.3 millimeter. Alright, so this is a very one of the simplest example to give you an idea how we design the piston head based on various input values after making some suitable assumptions.